in story it tells that how to reach to that state. It talks about emotional freedom. It talks about how to get rid of the delusion. It talks about how to discern in times of difficulty and challenges. So, that hot weather is the wife, and you are obsessed with it. I remember that story. It's such a uh, interesting story. He jumped onto the second floor so that his in-laws should not notice, and he met his wife because of his obsession. And his wife said, I know you are too much obsessed with me, I'm okay. But how come if you are obsessed with finding the real self, having the self-realization, and it stuck into his head? Obsession has gone. Now his obsession is for finding the real self. Another 10 to 15 years he devoted on the study of these texts, including all the Upanishads. So he has a clear understanding. He did meditation on the bank of a river, and then once he realized, he wrote this epic. He is famous throughout India for more than 1 billion people. His masses in a common man's language, because Sanskrit is very tough language to study. So he wrote in Hindi. So I have to recognize, yes, I have a strength, but do I recognize is the strength mixed with the delusion? And you rightly said it is ego. Ego is also a delusion. Ego is also a delusion.
Okay. What did you mean by adapting to the heat?
Yeah, adaptation, we are adapting to our food habits. It does not threaten us. It does not threaten us. The human body has a higher level of adaptation. If you have never seen the AC and you are living in a hot weather, people continue to live in South Africa. Where is the problem? They go for uh, they go for grazing their animals, and they live in a hut in a cottage. There is no air conditioning, and because of that, they adapt themselves. So, what is our adaptation? Our adaptation that I want that kind of a pleasure of a cool weather inside my home, and instantly I put myself into such a hot weather where the body has yet to adapt itself. So it will be a penance for you, it will be an austerity for you. Change your direction of the ego. Oh, yes, I have a strength. If nothing is happening to others people, then it should not happen to me. Stop AC. Don't use the AC in your room, in your house. So you have one level of adaptation. So now body is going to adapt itself. And the time will come when you can even walk in temperature which goes up to 120. Who cares? So that is what the adaptation is.
Okay.
I cannot sit in meditation for 15 minutes, so I say, just an example. So then I said, oh, let me do the lotus pose for 15 minutes in the first 4 weeks. I increased it to half an hour the next 4 weeks, but the next 4 weeks was terrible. I used to experience utter discomfort in the body. But I said, no, I will do it. So in the second month, I was able to sit for half an hour. This is what the adaptation is. So do some adaptation for something that will help you evolve. Don't be crazy. You are adapting to the heat. Why? Just for the sake of the ego? That will backfire. I still remember there is another guy who was enlightened when I was only 25, and that guy was around 40 and 42. So he left his house at the age of the 20. He lived into the forest, and he lived into the desert mountains, so his body adapted to the heat. So when he came to Delhi, Delhi has a hot temperature. So he is always used to have that kind of a penance. So he took a blanket and went into the roof and covered himself from the roof so that the direct sunlight will not attack his body. He covered his body with a blanket, and he used to stay for 3 hours of meditation in that. That is also an adaptation. So adapt yourself bypassing your ego. That will make a sense. But if I want to adapt for the sake of the ego, then it will definitely cause problems, fear, anxiety, duality. What is ego? Ego means the false I. False I means the individual self. What is individual self? Individual self means the way I think and feel I am. But how I think I am the body-mind complex. This is the individual self. Then how to bring the real self here? Individual self, or the false I mathematical equation, is equal to body-mind complex plus real self. Individual self, further explanation. Individual self is equal to body-mind complex means body, breath, mind, intellect, ego plus their respective activities plus their respective experiences plus real self. This is what the ego is. And what is the real self? So mathematical equation says real self is equal to individual self. The way I think I am, it is a false I, minus body and mind complex. What do you mean by minus? I transcend the body and the mind. I don't kill the body and mind. I take care of the body. I take care of the mind, but I transcend that body and mind complex. What is left is the pure consciousness. What is left is the real self, which is eternal, all-pervading, of the nature of love, happiness.
Like, what I understand everything you're saying. Like today, I guess I didn't discern properly though, because I still think I was very attached to the body. I got very anxious.
Yes. Now, what is the end result? What is the goal I'm looking for? I'm looking for a macho. I'm looking for that I should prove that what I am body and the mind. And I am the body to show that how strong the body is. It is delusion. I am not the body. I am not the body.
How do I how do I break that? How do I break that attachment? Because like I do like to really, I work out a lot, and you know that, and I work out hard, and I like having a nice body, and I feel
Yeah.
so attached to it.
Yes, yes. One thing is sure that we should have a nice body. But overdoing the body will take its toll in the future. It is but certain. Google out the history of those great wrestlers in the history, what happened to them, what were the challenges, body challenges they faced in their old age. This is the process of discernment. One. Second, I have to contemplate and reflect. That is the process of discernment, that what exactly I want. What is the goal of my life? To show someone how well built this body is, how smart this body is. Go further. Why I want to show it?
To attract the opposite sex is another one.
That is one aspect, to attract the opposite sex. Now, do you think that all women are attracted by the same quality of the body?
No.
So you are not able to attract everyone. So that level of sensuality is filled in the body. And sensuality escapes extreme pressure on the body, whether it is extreme cold or extreme heat. So you are contradicting yourself. You are already contradicting. Because you are contradicting, you are in delusion, and that delusion causes the fear and anxiety. Go ahead, continue. Continue to discern. Like a new car, I look at something like I'm attracted to it. I see something that looks really attractive, like a new car, a big house, a fancy vacation, and also my body. I like praise and appreciation from a friend, from a colleague, from the society. Look at me. What is me? I am the body. So you have created an imagined reality in you, projected reality in you. Look at me. Don't talk to me, but look at me. Me is this body. So because my mind is totally obsessed with that imagined or project reality pertaining to the body, we start chasing these things. In order to chase these things, I am chasing what is imagined reality. It gives me peace if one appreciates. It gives me a sense of joy. But joy is not there. It is imagined. One is going to appreciate today your body, and the second day the same guy says, look at this guy, his body is so wonderful, but the way he communicates and way he entangles himself is the worst. I don't want to talk to this guy. So mind is more powerful than the body.
Yeah.
Mind, definitely, you are speaking softly and gently with a sense of contribution, with a sense of givingness. You attract more people than you attract more people by simply looking at your body. So we are discerning. So why we are discerning? Two things are there. One is the delusion we are caught in, and second is the emotional pain, emotional attachment to the body. So there are two problems. Knowledge will help me to remove the delusion. But this attachment and obsession will be removed when I redirect my emotion from the body to the self. That is what happened to the Tulsi Das. I just told you the story. The Tulsi Das started thinking, how come I'm obsessed with her body? And yes, I'm a wrestler. So wrestlers normally have tremendous strength. And that strength can also be used for sexuality, sensuality. So simple. And he started thinking and contemplating. So first he has to remove his delusion, and second he has to redirect his emotion to the real self. And that is what he did. So he got rid of both the emotional dependence, which causes the attachment and obsession to anything, to a car, to the body, to the house, etc., and delusion by understanding, by knowledge. So we have to remove this delusion, but it does not mean what happens, we go to the extreme. Oh, from today I will not do it. No, do what is necessary. What is need-based desire? Do it inside your home. You have all the resources. And check. While doing, your mind is not imagining that one would look at this body and will praise and appreciate. No, I'm doing it to have a higher level of strength, well-being, physical fitness. That is why I'm doing. So you have redirected your goal for ego self? No, for the real self. Because fitness of the body is definitely required to sit for long hours of meditation. Yeah. It's a very important. But that fitness has to be understood with reference to the meditation, with reference to the realization. Then what happens? Or is the body only an instrument of realization? Answer is yes, like the car, smartphone. They are the instrument. So I start treating the body as an instrument to get rid of this delusion. Can you think the small fear, a momentary anxiety, washes out all your strength of the body? Can you think of this? It's just a fear. Oh, what happened? Body, please take care. I have devoted so much of time and effort on you to build these muscles and abs. Come on, rid me of the fear. It will not happen. Is it not a delusion? It is a great delusion. So we have to walk on a thin line. Body has to be fit. I do almost I could say 40 minutes of the physical practices. I hardly do how much? 40 minutes, 2 postures. One backward bending and one forward bending at this age. But during the posture practice of the posture, my mind is absorbed into meditation. It is not for the sake of building the body and showing to the people. Totally absorbed into the meditation, because the mind is absorbed into the body. So mind recognizes the higher level of discernment, and I recognize and realize every day that I am not the body. So the body is also fit, and at the same time, I continue to pursue my goal. So we keep trying in a wrong direction. When we keep trying in a wrong direction, that is what the delusion is. So with that delusion, I want to use for you to make you understand delusion. When I think, speak, and act in delusion, I live in conditional love. Conditional love is nothing but attachment, expectations. Conditional, there is a condition. There is a condition. I like you. Because I like you, so the outcome of liking is that I love you. So what is the condition? Condition is liking. And from where the liking comes? Liking comes from a particular thought. What is that thought? That thought is a projection. Imagine reality. I dislike you. Is it possible that mind says I dislike you and I love you? Not possible. So condition is there. So I like you, there is a sense of attachment, identification. What is this attachment or identification? I plus I desire. I plus I have a binding desire. I. What is I? I don't know. No, but I know it. What is this I false I? Plus I have a binding desire. What is this binding desire? I want to show this body to everyone. It is on display. It is on display. So when it is on display, what is on display is normally fake. Have you gone to Kohl's and have you seen those clay, beautiful men and women with the clay? Or different apparel stores, maybe Old Navy or Kohl's and Express and American Eagle. It is on display. I plus I have a binding desire. That is what the attachment is. An attachment has an emotional content. So one thing, delusion to remove, I have to understand. That is how this process of self-inquiry goes. Constant and consistent, whatever the thought of likes and dislikes enters into my mind, I have to discern, I have to do this self-inquiry. So discernment helps me to recognize that there is a sense of attachment and there is a wrong direction. Now I have dropped the wrong direction, but the emotional content is already there, that sense of attachment. So I love real self. No. I care my body, but I love real self. Now you are changing, redirecting that emotion from emotional dependence to the emotional freedom. When you are attached to the real self, you bring the emotional freedom. If you are attached to your body, you bring the emotional dependence and attachment and expectations. Why you said this? Is it not the same thing? I am attached to real self or I am attached to the body? It appears same, but it is not the same. I am attached to the body means I am attached to that thing which is constantly changing. I don't have control over the vertical growth of the body. I don't have control over the aging process. I don't have control over the body. I have a limited control. But this body is governed by the nature. I was born. I grew up vertically to a certain age, and in that the mind also reaches to the emotional maturity from where I recognize my false I and the true course. We have 6 stations of this physical body. Did I talk about it? 6 stations of the body. We were in the womb of the mother. Mother said, baby is there, Baba is there. Nick, Baba is there in my womb. That is the first station. Can you reverse that station? Answer is no. Second station is the birth of that Nick. Second station. Third station is the growth of that Nick, means the growth of the body. Fourth is the maturity. Now I will take it on my own myself. So then the old age, that is the fifth station. And the sixth station? What is the sixth station? Bye-bye to the earth. The death of the body. This is very clear. I have to look that whosoever is born has to pass through these 6 stations pertaining to the body.
Even if you die young?
Your body dies. Body passes through these 6 stations, but I'm different and separate than the body. This is what our entire Eastern wisdom focuses on. Take care of the body, maintain the body by keeping it physically fit, by measured diet, by adjusting an adaptation to the external environment. That is all. This body, you can delay the aging process, but you cannot prevent the death of the body. It is universally true. Even if anyone says that is totally false hope. Once you are mature, say, 4th stage, you cannot reverse. You cannot reverse. You cannot become like a small baby. You cannot become like a small baby. So you cannot reverse these 6 stations of the body. Why I use the word station? Because you are in a train and you reach to the 2nd station. The train is not going to go back. It has to go back to its destination. But during that process, can I realize my real self? Answer is yes, I can realize my real self. Whatever the attachment and the clinging I have with the body, I have to drop it. It is mental and psychological discipline in Eastern wisdom, and at the same time, I have to keep this body fit. Why I have to keep the body fit? In order to realize that real self. Shariram madhya khalu dharma sadhanam. Yeah, I remember spontaneously. Our masters in Eastern wisdom says, body is a means, is a temple to realize the real self. So the first step is to taking care of this physical well-being. I want to see you when you grow into, one day you grow into 50 or 60 years of the age, and whatever the workout you are doing now, I want to say you can do the same workout. And if you are straining the body, you will have lot of challenges in the body. After 50 or 55, even the science says catabolic processes begins. Catabolic means destructive processes begins. That is why we have, these cheeks start hanging down. you know, I, when, you know, even at the age of the 65, I say, no, I should take care of the way I stand up. It's important so that I should not have any problem with my knees. I should not stand up in the same way in a hurry, the way I used to do it at the age of the 20. That is adapting yourself. So two things are there. Well, one is the delusion, and other is redirecting that emotion, which causes anxiety, fear, attachment. But so what we have to do with the delusion, we have to hammer the delusion. How you hammer the delusion? By self-inquiry, by discerning, by understanding that what is understanding? The body has 6 stations. There is no way we can escape these 6 stations. Can you tell me, can anyone has escaped these 6 stations? Unfortunate are those who are born and they die at the age of 1 or 2. That's a different topic altogether. So when we are living, so delusion, we have to hammer the delusion. One thing. So what is the first understanding? That this body has a 6 station. So basically I use that word of 6 stations. In our masters uses that there are 6 modifications. Another master says there are 6 defects of the body that you cannot overcome. Birth and the growth will happen. You cannot stop it. Or if you have some genetic disposition, then your growth is arrested. So obviously that is also a defect. Lucky we are that we don't have that defect and still we want to follow that defect. First thing. Second thing, whatever is changing in this world, I have to keep in my head all the time. Whatever is changing is not me. Is body changing? Yes, constantly changing. Can you arrest that change in the body? Big no. And whatever is changing, whether it is body or the mind or the intellect or the ego, cannot be me. Why? Whatever is changing is material. It has nothing to do with the consciousness. Fourth, whatever is changing cannot be the property of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is what I'm searching all the day, every day. I'm searching for permanent peace and happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So whatever is changing cannot sustain that permanence because it is changing. So the body-mind complex with the false I changes. Can you tell me anyone in this world that you met until today have always consistently and constantly appreciated you or loved you. Even our parents on one day, they said how crazy you are. Change your habit. Even if they so-called they love or emotional attachment. So it means their mind also reflects that they cannot be loving for eternally. So whatever is changing cannot be the source of permanent happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. It is material. Matter cannot be emotional, but I have a feeling that it is emotional. When I have a feeling, it is imagined, projected happiness. I look at the body of a person whom I like first, I get attached, and then I say, I love you. And that love, so called attachment, disappears after some time. Even anyone, can you say with certainty, anyone in the world until today you met who says, I love you unconditionally, whether you criticize me, whether you hate me, I still love you. Have anyone said you? If no one said, it proves that so-called that love in the society with a person is a delusion. It is a conditional love. It is based on attachment expectations. So should I go in the society and declare, no, you are searching your real self. You have to internalize it. You have to discern it. You have to awaken to the wisdom. Mind should live into that state of the wisdom. If someone says, I love you, you also say, I love you. But internally you recognize, yes, this love is conditional, this love is attachment. I have done some good work for this guy, that is why he is saying that I love you. If I had not done it, he should have hated me. So that is nothing but the attachment. So I need not to redirect my emotion to the objects, to the person, to the relations outside. I have to change that direction to inside. That is what the Tulsi Das did. Tulsi Das is known as the greatest poet, greater than Rumi, because he compiled maybe around 20,000 verses in a common man's language to see that reality all the time. He became a representation of the God. Not being a wrestler. Not many people are aware that he was a wrestler. Not many people. They forget completely. They know that what he attained that freedom and the realization. I just, out of the blue, I remember but at the same time, Sarir Madhya Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. Thus to live righteously with the righteousness to prepare the body as a temple for the real self, I have to attain a certain level of physical well-being. Not to show, not to demonstrate it, but I should have that level of physical well-being. Because if there is no physical being, I'm sitting in meditation, the body will complain, the mind will be distracted. So do all those practices which will help you to sit in meditation minimum for a period of 3.5 hours. And if you achieve that goal, you are sitting in 3.5 hours of meditation precisely 3 hours and perhaps 48 minutes. If the body is sitting in 3 hours and 48 minutes totally still, withdrawing the sense organ inside, including the mind, you need not to learn anything from me. The knowledge will be revealed in your mind. So achieve that level of perfection of the body. So 3 hours and precisely 3 hours and 48.
Last time we only have like 10 minutes left, and I wanted to ask you because you said something last time, and we ended the conversation with me saying, "Can I ask about this the next time I see you?" And you had mentioned something at the end of last session about being attached to like my master or my God, and I didn't really, because we talk a lot about non-attachment, and so I guess I just wanted to talk more about what you meant by that.
Yes, very good. I wanted to dwell upon that, and I picked up that topic and then I deviated. Thank you for reminding me. I attach to anything which is constantly changing, is binding in nature for me. And if I'm attached to anything that is permanent, that is eternal, that is all pervading, it is the same emotional state of the mind, but because I'm attached to something that is permanent. So, Guru is a knowledge that helps me to move from ignorance to wisdom. So, that with that understanding, I am attached to my Guru. So, what will happen? I will always evolve. I will always rise in consciousness. And I will enter into the love. But if I am attached to anything that is constantly changing, whether I'm attached to my dad or mom, whether I'm attached to my honey, whether I'm attached to my son, whether I'm attached to my car or the home, they keep on changing. One thing, whatever is changing cannot have the property of peace and happiness. Why I am attached? So I question my mind that why you are attached to the thing that keeps on changing, that is not the source of permanent happiness. So it is a delusion. So now come back to the attachment. If I'm attached to anything in the world outside, it creates a projected pleasure, plus the pain hides behind that pleasure, and it causes the suffering. But if I am attached to, say you are attached to the Jesus, get attached to the Jesus. But understand, what do you mean by the Jesus? Jesus, you are attached to the body of a Jesus? No. You are attached to his pure emotion, an epitome of the love, epitome of the wisdom. So basically, you are attached to the real self indirectly. That will help you liberate you. So attachment, do you see the attachment is the same? The God, so-called the existence, has offered us the opportunity to understand and learn and educate the mind what exactly is the attachment. We have learned it. Now the master says that you have learned what is attachment. Now learn grow to the second stage. Try to understand where I should be attached, where I should not be attached. You are attached to your bank balance. The next day, you have to spend $1,000. To take $1,000 out of the bank account will piss you off because you are attached to what is changing. Even though you are taking care of something, you're driving the totally new car and someone hits you, you are attached to the car, which is constantly changing. And it causes the suffering and reaction. Look at it. So I should not be attached to anything in the world that constantly changes, one that is not the source of peace and happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. And what is changing has to leave one day, including the body. So why I should be attached? When one has already left and I am still attached, it results into bipolar disorder in me. I'm still attached because I have imagined reality. He or she is still present before me.
Yeah.
But if I'm attached to the Jesus who never dies, I'm attached to, that is the concept of the God. The God is all pervading. It is of the nature of love. So I am exploring the love through the image of the Jesus. I'm exploring that love through the image of my Guru. I'm not looking at the physical Guru. Not looking at the physical Guru. That is why you might have attended Mass, prayer, and a worship every time you close your eyes. So you are looking, you are exploring, you are discovering that love through the image of Jesus, through the image of a Guru, through the image of a holy person, through the image of the God. That much role it has, that much role. But if I'm exploring so-called the love with the honey, and that honey keeps on changing. That honey means body-mind complex. So I fall down into the unconsciousness. I fall into love. That is why we say I fell into love. We don't say I rise into love because I love you. We always use the word I have fallen into love with you. You are so sweet. Because you are so sweet, I'll make you fall a little longer. Wait. That is what the attachment is. So that attachment in the mind converts into an unconditional love because I'm exploring the eternal, permanent love through the image. And that much is why? Because I need some image to redirect my emotion. Otherwise, the mind is not going to learn this. You cannot redirect your emotion to the consciousness which is invisible. So gradually you are constantly discovering that wisdom, that knowledge, that peace through the image of my Guru. For example, what happens? The image of the Guru replaces my awakening to the love, peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Did you understand?
Yeah.
When you buy a Maserati of which you are obsessed and you bring it home, You are exploring the immense pleasure in you through the image of Maserati. As fair, Maserati is not what is matter. It is steel, some rubber. It cannot love you. You are not attached to that rubber or steel or battery or fuel. You are not attached to the fuel. Oh, I'm so much attached to the fuel in the Maserati, so let me drink it.
What is the attachment then of how I think it's going to make me feel?
So your attachment to the deluded Maserati, which is constantly changing, made up of the parts, that is the delusion. I love the body. Yes, I love the body. Oh, this beautiful women. Very good. I have to ask myself, after 10 years, what will happen to this beautiful body? It is changing.
Sure.
But I am exploring that love through the image of the Jesus is not changing. It is the eternal love. I'm looking for an unconditional love here. Whether I'm exploring the same love through the image of the Master. Master is an epitome of the knowledge. He has to remove my ignorance. He has to help me to live into that wisdom. So I am attached to my Guru in order to find, in order to discover in me. What you discovered by buying a Maserati, bringing it home, constantly changing. And when it changes, you get upset. That is what the attachment to the world outside. So attachment to the world outside is conditional all the time. Attachment to any image of the God or attachment to the real self is liberating. Attachment to the world outside is is binding, is causing a bondage. Because why? It is I love something which is constantly changing, and that creates a condition. It is a conditional love. What is conditional love is attachment. What is unconditional love is real love. Did you get it?
Yep.
Remember, again, I'm using the phrase, I love my master because I want to discover that infinite love in me which I have seen in the image of the Guru.
I like that.
I love Jesus because I see. And he said, love is God. Love is not name in the form. But I use his name in the form in order to find that love. Look at the deeper and clear understanding of these simple principles. Our next talk will be, I will focus on, now it is very important to focus on the impure states of the mind in our daily life we work with causes endless delusion and suffering. And then we will go for what are the pure states of the mind which can help me to discern instantly, to live a very calm and relaxed external life so that I can devote my time on the journey of the self-discovery.
I'll see you on Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday.
Are you leaving town this weekend?
No, I'm leaving on 4th of July.
Oh, cool. Okay.
4th of July to my daughter. And
nice.
There are already 25 people who have shown interest. So I will do one workshop for 4 hours in New Jersey with my old students.
Cool.
And then I will go to Niagara Falls. My daughter will take me. She has been requesting again and again. I have not visited her for the last 2, 3 years. So I said, okay. So she will drive me there. We'll stay a couple of days in Montreal. We have already got a house booked through Airbnb.
Cool.
So she did everything. She is doing everything. Thanks
That's
God.
nice.
It's all.
I see you next week on Wednesday.
Yeah. See you next week.